How about the stock market? How about the stock market? S&P settled at 2098. We bought on Monday at 1998, 100 points lower. Nobody can do what I do. Nobody can do what I do. And I say that without any hesitation. And I know that last Friday, some of you mousy boys were out because last Friday was a highly emotional, crazy day. It was right after that Brexit vote. Market was getting slammed, and I put out a video last Friday where maybe I expressed a little bit of uncertainty, at least in some of the mousy boys' eyes. And they were like, well, what about the fiscal flows? What about MMT? What about your mental game? I guess that's all out the window now. No, it was never out the window. And there are going to be times, look, it's all about, yes, information. It's about understanding. It's about mental game. And it's also sometimes about psychology. I mean, we have to be part-time psychologists sometimes because we are trading against the 100%. And the 100% is highly emotional. They can be irrational, and they are easily prone to manipulation by the sociopaths out there. So even though we might have the right information, and even though we might have the right understanding because of our knowledge of MMT, and even though we might have the right mental game, we also need to have a psychological handle on what is going on. And listen, emotional times are emotional times. Everybody can be subject to influence from a highly emotional situation. But what I did was over the weekend when I was writing the letter and then, calmly, objectively, rationally going over the data and the things that I have always relied on to point me in the right direction, looking at the numbers, looking at the fiscal flows, yes, and then really sort of reflecting on what had happened on Friday, specifically in terms of that market sell-off. This is all part of mental game. What I did over the weekend was examine my own state of emotion. How was I feeling? Why was I feeling the way I was feeling on Friday? Was that rational? Was that irrational of me? And I came to the conclusion that nothing had changed in terms of the underlying fundamentals. That Brexit, as I had said in the past leading up to the vote, first I said whatever the first reaction is going to be, it's going to be wrong because the 100% they're called the 100% for a reason. They're always 100% wrong. And Brexit was not the disaster that everybody thought. So I had the data was supporting me. And then when I analyzed my own mental state, in my course, in my Forex course, I use the analogy of a doctor, a physician who makes the rounds at the hospital, checking on patients' vital signs, checks the temperature, checks the heart rate, checks the blood pressure. You got to do the same thing to yourself. Every now and then you have to ask yourself, how am I feeling? Especially if you're feeling unsure or uncertain or uncomfortable, even for a reason you can't put your finger on. You have to self-reflect. So what happened, what came out of that process, and it shows you how highly developed my own mental game is. What came out of that process over the weekend was I wrote a report which went out on Monday, like all my reports go out on Monday. And the headline of that report says, the selling is total insanity. You have to go against that. Nobody else said that. And not only did I say that, and by the way, I put the same thing in Real Money over at thestreet.com where I contribute. Nobody else said that. And not only was there no one else who said that, I put levels in there. 1998, I said buy the S&P. 1.3195, I said buy the British pound. Everyone was hysterical selling, okay? And you see what happened. exactly as I said once again. And it is always as I say every single time. So for the mousy boys who thought they had something on me last week, you had nothing on me. You had nothing on me, and you can never have something on me because I get it right every single time. And you're starting to see now some of the people who have come over to my side, who have started to follow me, who subscribe to MMT+Trader, who listen to the videos, and not only that, who have applied themselves, who have made the effort to try to understand these concepts and these principles. You see the success they're having. Some of them maybe never had success as traders and investors. I had that guy talked about that nice testimonial I got earlier today. Guy never traded Forex in his life. And he went now, it's been almost a year, he said. And he made every single mistake in the book, but still it was enough to pull in a 25% return on something he has never done before. And he said, I feel very confident I could do a 100% return this year, no problem. And that's what happens. That's what happens. So, again, and this is not cockiness, people. This is not arrogance. I know the mousy boys, they're going to be all, all excited and wanting to say, you're so cocky, you're so arrogant. It's not cockiness. It's not arrogance. Again, when you know that the earth revolves around the sun and you say that, that is not being cocky. That is not being arrogant. I am the only one who has taken MMT to the level that I have taken it, which is an applied MMT. First of all, very few people even understand or follow MMT. And I am above the founders, the people who, sort of created this school of economics or sort of encapsulated it. That's because I am not an academic. I have taken it and brought it to the level of useful application. There's plenty of MMT academics out there. All the so-called founders, they're writing their stuff on blogs and this and that. None of them are trading. They're in academia. They work for maybe institutions, universities, or whatever, or even if they're independent, they talk the academic game. I have taken it to the applied level. That's like taking pure science, mathematics, physics, computer science, and building something with it. Building an airplane, right? Building a vehicle, building a computer. That's what I have done. I have taken raw information and made it useful. And there's nobody else who has done that. Nobody else who has done that. What I was going to say is very few people have even come over to what I am teaching here. Some have. I mean, the number of followers that I have is minute compared to the vast majority out there who are in the 100% and the loser field. And again, if I'm coming back to this this discussion or this example that I've been hit with now a number of times, where people will email me and say, I really like the report, it was very interesting, but your trading style is just not my style. Well, guess what? First of all, you don't even know my trading style. Yes, I send out recommendations during the week because many of you have asked me for recommendations, but it has nothing to do with that, and that's not necessarily my trading style. It has everything to do with the big picture, with understanding the concepts. There was a guy here who posted up a comment saying, Mike, I don't even listen to your recommendations. And I'm doing fantastic. Why? Because I have learned the concepts that you teach, and then I choose my own stocks. I choose my own ETFs. That is what I want everyone to strive for, at least everyone who is committed to this. But those who say, it's not my style, then guess what? Your style is losing. Your style is mediocrity. And I don't care if you have some fancy title like you're a managing director or you're a vice president. I don't care, okay? Because you are out there in a vast group whether it's in the financial industry or whether it's in some other industry, who are just mediocre, who really don't make any money. So when you take, many people who really don't do that well, then you can't really say about one single person he's a loser, because they're all losers. So he might be what he considers to be successful in a group of losers. Okay? So, once again, there's nobody that can do what I do. Nobody can do what I do. And by the way, what did I tell you people on Monday? I got a little excited, but I said, I got your back. When things looked like hell and they were falling apart, I said, it's going to be okay. I got your back. Nobody can do what I do. And the people who have come over to my side and have made the effort to learn and understand these concepts, they're also coming into that very rarefied group of being able to do things that nobody else can do. But right now, there's no one who could do what I do. Nobody. And that's just a fact. That's not being cocky. That's not being arrogant, okay, mousy boys? So don't get your fur all ruffled. See you guys.